Good morning, everyone. What a pleasure to be here. I'd like at this time to welcome all of you to the swearing in of Chief Al Dion and ask Michaela, Nicholas, and Caitlin, Al's 3 children, to join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Help lead that effort. You guys want to come up here? Go right to the mic.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good work, you guys. All right. So at this point in our program, we are pleased to be joined by Fiona Bautista, a Salem High School class of 2021, who is going to sing the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you, Fiona. You can see how talented she is. Headed to Emmanuel College in the fall. They're going to be very lucky to have her. Please be seated, at least for a minute, as I invite Father Robert Murray to join us for opening prayer. And I want to thank Father Murray. He is so kind and generous with his time for city events, special occasions, to be able to offer a blessing. Thank you, Father Murray.
Good morning. Would you please join me in prayer? God of all people and God of all nations, we humbly and earnestly ask that you bless our new fire chief, Alan Dion, as he begins his service and leadership to the city of Salem's fire department. We ask you also to bless all those whom he will lead, the firefighters who stand before us or with us today, and those on service shifts throughout the city now. We give thanks for all the wisdom and experience that has brought him to this position. We pray that you will help him during times of emergency and duress to remember and use all that he has learned as he and his department work to protect the residents of our community, young and old, as well as our homes and places of business. May he and the whole department always know that you are with them, and may they receive through the intercession of St. Florian your protection and blessing on each and every call they make. We ask for blessings on all the firefighters and officers under his leadership and pray that they be helped through him to always grow in knowledge, skill, and wisdom. We especially ask, O God, that you protect his and all firefighters' families when they are called to protect and serve others. Keep them safe and help them to keep their memories close to their hearts when they are apart from them. Each and every shift, we renew the prayer that you will bring these firefighters home safe and sound to their loved ones. We also commend to your gracious and loving care all deceased firefighters who once served our city and allow us to take comfort from the fact that we are sure that they have been offered from your hand a crown of glory and a lasting peace. We offer this prayer in humility and in trust of your unfailing and ever-abiding love for us. Hold us in your care, now and forever. All this we ask in your most holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Father Murray. In occasions like this, it really does make you fortunate to be not only living in the city of Salem, but certainly to be serving. I just want to recognize a number of our elected officials who joined us, two of whom will be speaking. But from our city council, our partners in government, we have Councilor at Large Domingo Dominguez, Councilor at Large Ty Hapworth, Ward 3 Councilor Patty Morcillo. We have a number of our department heads joining us. I see Salem State College President John Keenan, former Councilor Tom Fury. This is never a good idea when you start naming names, but I do want to recognize the number of folks who took time out of their day to be with us. And we're so pleased. And Councilor Tim Flynn, who I forgot during our thank you, Tim, during our police swearing in, because he's in uniform, right? Councilor Tim Flynn from Ward 4. And it really does mean a great deal, not only to the department, but to Al as we're swearing him in, and to all of us who are local officials to recognize and be able to join in this celebration. And I also see former Chief Jerry Ginta here. Thank you, Jerry, for joining us. At this time, I'd like to recognize our partners in state government. We're so fortunate to be represented by two incredibly capable individuals who not only know Salem, but really understand the needs that we have and work hard to make sure that they're advocating on our community's behalf. Joining us first is going to be Senator Joan Lovely.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. I am truly honored to be here with all of you today to recognize our very good friend, Alan Dion, on being sworn in as fire chief for our great city. I can think of no one more deserving to lead our exceptional fire department, a brotherhood and a sisterhood like no other. Thank you to Chief Junta for being here as well and for your service to our city. And thank you, Mayor Driscoll, for making this really terrific appointment. A member of the Salem Fire Department for 28 years, Chief Dion has lived each day of the last 3 decades in service to others. After graduating from the Massachusetts Firefighter Academy in 1993, Chief Dion wasted no time. During his tenure, Chief Dion has held many positions within the fire department, including lieutenant, captain, and deputy chief. He has received extensive training in emergency and labor management and hazardous materials operations, all the while learning from every role and leadership experience to become the distinguished individual sitting here, I was going to say standing, sitting here before us today. Just as important are Alan's personal accomplishments. Chief Dion knows Salem, he knows our community and its people, and he's always been a natural leader. Alan grew up in Castle Hill on Cleveland Street, the next street over from where I live today with my family. He's the son of Bob and Mary Dion, and the brother to Bob, his twin Gary, and sister Patty. He was an early entrepreneur as the neighborhood paper boy. He went on to be an altar boy at St. Anne's Church. I had some help with this. When St. Anne's burned down, the then beloved pastor, Father Bourgeois, rallied a group of altar boys to capture the youth community spirit that led to the rebuilding of the church. Alan became a leader in that role, and he went on to earn the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest rank in scouting. We know that less than 6% of scouts go on to earn their Eagle. Alan is one of that select few. So when Alan ventured into the fire service, it's no surprise that he is chief today. This leader took his service to others, to the broader community of Salem. And on his journey, he met and married the love of his life, Lisa. And together they have been proud parents to 3 beautiful children, Michaela and twins Caitlin and Nicholas. A Salem family we are also very proud of. Alan rose through the ranks through diligent study and dedication to his craft. And he is someone who has become the person you can always rely on. Now, there were other ventures for Alan along the way. There was a little bit of a stint of working for Ace Painting, and there was that very special trip to Europe with very good friends. Then he joined a brotherhood and sisterhood of the Salem Fire Department, and I have no doubt that he will lead the department with honor and distinction to protect our community and its residents. The job of a firefighter is dangerous. You put your life on the line each and every day you leave your precious families. I'm very proud to attend Firefighter Sunday every June to memorialize every firefighter who has answered their last call to save others. Chief, you led a beautiful ceremony this last month to honor your profession and those who have led before you. And you honored your department by recognizing decades of service. I especially enjoyed that recognition for the men and women who serve this great city. Thank you, Chief Dion, for supporting your community of fellow firefighters. Thank you for your continued service to our city. You uphold the highest ideals of public service. I look forward to working with you and seeing the many great things you will do on behalf of Salem as you lead the Salem Fire Department. Thank you and congratulations, Chief. Before I leave, Senate citation on behalf of both myself and Rep. Tucker, marking this really joyous occasion of you becoming the fire chief of the city of Salem on July 19th, 2021. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Senator Lovely. At this point, I'd like to invite our State Fire Marshal, Peter Ostrowski, to join us and offer a few words. Thank you so much for being with us. And I also want to thank the members of the fire departments from adjoining communities who are lending us some apparatus and some personnel so that our fire department can be here. We're very grateful for that team effort.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to join you today. Senator, Representative, good morning, everyone. It's a really great honor for me to be able to be here this morning and congratulate Alan on his appointment as Chief of Department. Salem has a long history of having a highly respected, very capable fire department. And this transition in leadership is another example of a great move by the City of Salem and the Salem Fire Department leadership moving forward. I can tell you on a personal note, my own career was impacted significantly by a couple of sons of Salem in Fire Marshal Joe O'Keefe and Deputy Chief Dave Goggin, whom I had the pleasure of working with as a young firefighter coming up through my job, and who influenced so much and are representative of a long list. I'll take the mayor's lead and not list a bunch of names, but a long list of Salem fire personnel who have worked and who do work every day to further the causes of the fire service, to make our fire service safer, and to influence the important work that's done by our fire and emergency response personnel. As we come out of the pandemic and we go through this transition, it's worthwhile for us to recognize the chief, the deputies, the leadership of the department, the men and women of the fire service across the Commonwealth, across our nation, around the world, who are a big part of the team that stayed on the field throughout the pandemic. And that reminds us that the fire service continues to face new challenges every day. And with leadership so well-prepared personnel like Chief Dion, his command staff, and the men and women of the Salem Fire Department, his brothers and sisters in Essex County, across the Commonwealth, we're fortunate to have the ability to react, respond, and perform the appropriate functions for the fire service with such great leadership. In closing, I just want to also take the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you, Chief, for your service and for taking on this role, for putting in the time to prepare for this and to be ready to work so closely with us all going forward. Thank you to your family. We know that you've made a lot of sacrifices to get to this day. We know that you're very proud of your husband and your dad, and rightfully so. And we thank you for your continued service, because we know that the chief doesn't do it alone as much as he thinks he does. And you and his extended family have made a number of sacrifices and will continue to do so as he leads during these challenging times. Congratulations, Chief.
I want to thank the State Fire Marshal for joining us and for all the work that you do on behalf of all of the communities in Massachusetts to keep us safe. And grateful to have Representative Paul Tucker, no stranger to the public safety work in our community, join us this morning and say a few words as well. Thanks, Paul.
Good morning, everyone. Chief, thank you. I am honored to have been asked to make a few remarks this morning on this wonderful day on such an important occasion. I've always believed that the most important two things that government does is public safety and educating our children. The ceremony is a fitting way at this moment in time to say thank you to Chief Junta and to pass the torch. Probably not the best metaphor. How about past leadership to a worthy successor, Chief Dion, who has earned this appointment. The City of Salem takes great pride in our public safety professionals. Our fire and police departments are held in high esteem, and for good reason. Our firefighters are part of something special, a bond of men and women who take their duties not just as a job, but as a vocation, something particularly worthy and requiring great dedication. They know the dangers to be faced, which can happen on any tour of duty, from the ones we see, whether on TV news or in the press. They also know the hidden dangers, as we've seen with the fire department in New York, with firefighters who continue to suffer losses from the effects of 9/11 some 20 years later. Although firefighting at its core in many ways remains the same as what firefighters have done for generations, the complexities have grown. And so too has the need for strong departmental leadership, chiefs in particular. Chiefs must evolve to lead the men and women capably, effectively, and safely. And with Mayor Driscoll's appointment of Chief Dion to take the reins of this department, she has selected someone who is ready, tested, and experienced to take an already excellent department to the next level, as Chief Junta and Chief Cody and others have done before him. In Chief Dion, the department has someone who will empower the command staff all the way through the ranks and let this strong core of commanding officers carry out his vision, while giving them the support to make strong and effective decisions themselves. In my 32 years on the police department, I had numerous opportunities to watch the skill and bravery of our Salem firefighters, from battling heavy fire, to motor vehicle accidents, to hazmat situations, water and ice rescues, and so much more. As a city, we are truly blessed to have men and women who literally answer the bell every time they are called to do so. Often, we rightly and justly call our firefighters heroes, and often it's for something that we see played out in real life. And sometimes courage and bravery happens when no one from the public is there to witness it, and no one from the media is there to tell the story. I am reminded of just such a scenario, and I've spoken about this often in telling the story of Jack Jacobs. Captain Jack Jacobs, United States Army, was by his own account just an average soldier in Vietnam, when one day in battle, he displayed incredible courage, conspicuous gallantry, and acted with complete disregard for his own safety. For his actions, Captain Jacobs received the Medal of Honor, the highest and most prestigious award that our nation bestows upon our military men and women. Upon receiving the Medal of Honor, Captain Jacobs said he was accepting on behalf of others who had done things similar to him, but because no one was there to bear witness, their heroism was known only to themselves and to God. And so it is with firefighters, so often displaying that courage, the gallantry and the bravery, so worthy of our respect and our recognition, even when out of public view, on rooftops and in hallways, at the top of an aerial ladder in an MBTA tunnel, doing good when sometimes only they and God know what they've done. And firefighters don't do it because it's their job. They do it because it's a vocation. And any words I speak today cannot do justice for what the men and women of the fire service do. I know that Chief Dion will make sure that the men and women under his command will be recognized for the work they do. He will make sure they are properly equipped, properly trained, and ready to answer that bell when it goes off. I know there are a number of Salem firefighters currently attending the academy, and I know that they too will soon understand the bond between firefighters, the traditions, the generations of families that enter the fire service, standing on the shoulders of those before them. Look no further than the Dionne family, a lineage of firefighting in the family to be proud of. And it's no surprise that the two senior members of this great department carry on the traditions of the Dionne family. A grateful city and a grateful department thanks them. They have given much. I mentioned earlier in my remarks about the bravery we have seen so often by members of our department. And I want to close today with a story from January 10th, 2007. On that day, I was a detective captain, and I responded to a report of a suicidal male who had climbed out onto a ledge at the Shaughnessy Kaplan Hospital. I was so impressed by the actions of our firefighters that day. When I went back to police headquarters, I wrote a letter of commendation for them, and I sent it to Chief Cody. I'd like to summarize my words that I wrote to Chief Cody some 14 years ago. Dear Chief Cody, I wanted to bring to your attention an incident that occurred on January 10th, 2007 at Shaughnessy Hospital. At approximately 3:08 p.m., an emotionally disturbed person climbed out onto the fourth floor window ledge, threatening to jump. Salem Fire, Salem Police, and EMS all responded in an attempt to bring this man back safely. After all the efforts to communicate with this man failed, the fire captain in command on scene conferred with police, fire, and EMS, hospital personnel, to formulate a rescue plan. Due to the cold weather and the man's position on the ledge, officials were concerned that he would either jump or eventually tire and fall. The captain, along with a firefighter, ascended an aerial ladder to proactively intervene and attempt the rescue of this clearly distraught man. As they approached, the man began to slide away from them on the ledge, away from his rescuers. The firefighters operating the ladder demonstrated skill and precision. They were able to maneuver the captain, who was at the top of the aerial ladder, close enough to the subject where he was able to pull him onto the ladder. And after a brief struggle, a violent struggle, the captain was able to balance holding this person while balancing himself on the ladder high above the ground. I concluded to the chief that words alone cannot express or explain the courage and skill displayed by this command officer and the firefighters of Salem Fire Department, which brought a harrowing and dangerous incident to a successful and safe conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain I wrote about that day, who was in command and made that rescue, and still in my mind today I can picture it, was Al Dion. To the Salem Fire Department, I thank you for answering the bell every time it rings. To Chief Dionne's family, thank you for what you have done to make this day possible. Because of you, the chief has been able to rise through the ranks by hard work, countless hours of study, and succeeding at every step along the path to chief because of you. Chief Dionne, for 28 years, you have dedicated your professional life in service to your department and to your community. Now you have been given the awesome responsibility which you have accepted, this mantle of leadership. And I am confident that you will do it with good judgment, good sense, and you will do it with something that I wrote about you some 14 years ago. You will do it with skill and courage. God bless you, Chief, and best wishes ahead.
Thank you, Paul, Representative Tucker, not only for your remarks, but for making sure we all heard that very important and impressive story that is unfortunately real life that occurs. I remember that when that occurred, and incredible. So before offering some formal remarks, I definitely want to recognize an individual who helps us with a number of special events. Each and every time we're fortunate to be able to celebrate an individual who's moving into a top rank. We call on Ellen Talkowski, our special projects event coordinator. Thank you, Ellen. It's hard enough to make sure I'm here on time, let alone everything else goes off without a hitch. So I appreciate that. And I want to thank the staff of the Hawthorne Hotel for hosting us. Always an amazing place to be. Appreciate that. And welcome, Salem residents, elected officials, women and men of the fire service, neighboring chiefs, and our other honored guests. I'm so happy that we are all here today as we swear in Salem's next fire chief, Alan Dion. Let's give that a round of applause. As has been mentioned, Salem's fire department has a long and storied history. In a city like Salem, filled with no shortage of history, that is truly something. In his remarks upon the organization of the first city government in Salem in 1836, our city's first mayor, Leverett Saltonstall, called the fire department, and I quote, "a corps of efficient and meritorious citizens who act with promptness and success." The mettle of that department was tested in the crucible of 1914, when the Great Fire destroyed 1,400 buildings in Salem and left 18,000 of our city's people homeless. Were it not for the courageous actions of the Salem Fire Department, who faced the fire directly and for days on end, the devastation would have been far, far worse. Today's Salem Fire Department is just as dedicated to the people of our city and not afraid of innovation and new approaches. Standing on a ladder built by history and tradition, held aloft by the men and women who wore the uniform before them, with their eyes facing what's to come, undeterred by danger or challenge. Just like our city. Their dedication was proven during the last year and a half, as they were an integral part of the first responders managing our community's path through the COVID-19 pandemic. Whether it was standing up emergency quarantine sites, assisting in medical calls, or handling the emergency management oversight both locally and with MEMA and FEMA, they were among those on the front lines of our city's battle with this deadly virus. And now, to lead a department of this caliber, we have, in Chief Dion, a man tested and ready to lead. For nearly 3 decades, Al has been a member of the Salem Fire Department. After graduating from the Massachusetts Fire Academy, as you've heard, he's climbed the ranks with professionalism and dedication, from firefighter to lieutenant to captain to deputy chief, and now to the chief's role. I'm confident that Al will be a great chief for the Salem Fire Department, not just because of his credentials or his experience, but because of his character and his drive. He's the kind of leader who does not shy away from challenges. He does not shirk at the responsibility of taking on more. He's also the kind of chief who will strive to give his team the tools and the training that they need to succeed. Trust me, he's already advocating for you. He's a strong advocate for resources even before being named for chief, and he did so because he thought it was a priority for the department and the community. He did so because he cares. Salem's own Jack Welch once observed that before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. I know that Chief Dion will embody that spirit, and that effort will help ensure that he's not just a great chief, but a great leader for the Salem Fire Department. I'm pleased to be in a position to appoint you to this position, one for which you are prepared and ready to lead. Congratulations, Al. And let's make it official. I won't lose those. I think we're going to call up all of the family members to be with us as we move forward with the official oath of office. Yeah, let's find a way to. We can push those chairs back a little. I want to get the good picture for you. Yeah, thanks, Al. So over here. Okay. If you could come forward and please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Alan Dion,
I, Alan Dion,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as Salem Fire Chief,
as Salem Fire Chief,
acting to the best of my abilities and understanding,
acting to the best of my abilities and understanding,
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of
of
Salem,
the City of Salem.
so help me
So
God.
help me God.
I, Alan Dion,
I, Alan Dion,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United
of
States,
the United States.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. If Al's wife Lisa could officially pin the badge to make it formal. It's okay if you poke them.
We practiced last night. Not enough.
It's like prom. We're going to have you sign the book before you speak. The last official act to ensure that Al formally becomes chief is for him to sign the city book, appointing him in this position. You can go right ahead. All right, no turning back now. It's official. You're up. It is indeed my honor and distinct privilege to invite Chief Al Dion to the podium for his remarks.
Good morning. Thank you all very, very much for coming. Words cannot express my gratitude and my appreciation for all of you who took the time to be part of today's swearing-in ceremony and for allowing all of us here in the Salem Fire Department to showcase our department. As you saw when you arrived, we have all our frontline equipment outside. This is the stuff we use every day. We got it all lit up. We got the flag hanging. We're very proud of it, and we're very, very proud of our Salem Fire Department. We're fortunate to live and work in a city that strongly believes in and supports a well-equipped, well-trained fire department. On behalf of the Salem Fire Department, welcome and thank you for attending today's events. Most importantly, I'd like to begin with by mentioning my family who are all here today. My wife, Lisa, as you all know, she's put up with me more than 30 years, 28 years, she's going to heaven, 30 years. 28 years as a firefighter, with me working nights, holidays. She had to deal with all those things that other wives deal with, that are firefighter wives. Without your support, your patience, your understanding, your kindness, and most importantly, your love, I would not be where I am here today. From the bottom of my heart, Lisa, thank you. I love you very much. I mean it. My beautiful children, Michaela, Caitlin, Nicholas, you're my shining stars. You're my life. I'm incredibly proud of each and every one of you, and I can't wait to see what great things the future holds in store for you. Thank you for being here today. I'm so proud of you. I love you both. I love you all. There's 3 of you, right? They love to pick on me. To my extended family, thank you all for coming. It means so much. I know some of you traveled quite a distance, including my brother Robert, who flew in from Arizona last night. I understand yesterday was a tough day of flying. Thank you. And thanks to all those that came for some distance. I'd also like to mention my sister Patty and my twin brother Gary, who's here. Make sure you tell him who's better looking. I'd also like to recognize, in particular, my mother Mary, Dion, who's here in the second row, right on the edge there. She's been here most of her adult life. She still loves Salem. She loves to just be active in the city. Along with her, I have my favorite mother-in-law, Pat Linares. They're both in their mid-80s and going strong, and Lisa and I are so happy and so thankful to have them still in our lives, and we love you both, and thank you so much for your support. Again, we're not anything without you guys, so thank you for everything you do, mums. Thank you. Your Honor, Madam Mayor, thank you for your kind words. I think that's kind of the job, but thank you anyway. Thanks for believing me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to lead the Salem Fire Department as chief. Your continued support of our department has allowed the Salem Fire Department to be among the finest in the state. I assure you I'll do my best to continue this tradition of excellence that we are known for. On behalf of the Salem Fire Department, thank you for your continued support. Thank you, Mayor. City Council members, we couldn't do this without you. Thanks for coming. Most importantly, thanks for your continued support of the fire department. It's very important, and you guys recognize that. I appreciate it. Thanks for your tireless efforts on behalf of the community. I'd especially like to recognize in attendance one particular counselor, Lieutenant Tim Flynn. Tim, could you raise your hand? Let me tell you, being a firefighter in our hours is challenging enough, and this guy signed on to be a city councilor as well. I give him a whole boatload of credit, because I've sat through a lot of council meetings, and they're downright painful, to be honest. And you're amazing that you do two jobs, and I recognize you, and I congratulate you on your efforts. So, Lieutenant, Counselor, thanks for everything you do on behalf of our department and on behalf of our city. We appreciate you. Thank you. Senator Lovely, yeah, those are really nice words. You said a lot. Joan and I go way back. I think I started painting houses around the second or third time I dropped out of college. I lost track. But Joan and I, her husband Steve, ran Ace Painting, and I brought in a bunch of my friends, some of whom are here today, and we all became really, really close. We traveled Europe together, and we painted houses. We may have gotten a little trouble together, but Joni's a dear friend. Thank you, Joni, and thank you for serving our community as senator in our region. You do a phenomenal job. Appreciate your kind words. Thank you, Joni. Representative Paul Tucker, thank you. Thanks for agreeing to be our guest speaker today, and thanks for your extraordinarily kind words. Over the top, Paul. I'm not sure I'm entirely deserving of all of them, to be honest with you. You certainly know how to work a microphone, all right? Let me just say that. All right, I asked you to take it easy on me, and you just went and blew the crowd out of the water. You're a tough act to follow. But when we spoke several weeks ago, and I asked you if you'd be part of today's ceremonies, you mentioned that you were going to include a little talk about a rescue on Dove Ave at the hospital that involved a crew I was part of. Our conversation stirred up a lot of memories. That was a rough day. The incident had a strong effect on all of us that were involved. I'm humbled that you mentioned it, and although I played a part in the rescue, I assure you that there were at least 15 other public safety people there. Every one of us were integral in making that rescue a huge success. In particular, I'd like to mention one individual who had a key role in the incident. His name was Lieutenant Scott Hebert. For those who don't know, while on vacation 5 years ago with his wife Karen, Scott took an ill turn and unexpectedly passed away. It hurt us all very bad, and it still hurts today to think about Scott. Scott was a good friend to all of us. For those who didn't know him, he was kind of rough on the edges, a little tough. He was an eating machine. That guy could eat. Scott could put food away like no other skinny guy I ever knew. He was tall, lanky, and some of the more cruel guys in our department thought he looked like Big Bird. Because of his neck, he could eat a lot. We said it could go in his neck. Again, we're rough in the fire station, but it's all love. On that day, as Representative Tucker spoke of, Scott was there with us. He was on the aerial ladder. We were 4.5 stories up. He was risking his life as part of the rescue. Scott held on to me with a death grip to keep me from falling, and only because of Scott's efforts that day and all of our team, we had the opportunity to succeed and make the rescue. I'm still convinced if Scott wasn't there that day, on the tip of that aerial, the outcome that day would have been very, very different. I wanted to mention Scott on this special day and tell you all about him. It's been 5 years. We all wish he's been here. Wish he was here. Scott was our good friend, and he's missed. So, Representative Tucker, I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for always supporting the fire department and the service you do on behalf of our community. I appreciate you. Thank you. Fire Marshal Ostrowski. Did I say that right? How did I do? It's a tough one. Thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. I appreciate your words. To tell you a little bit about the Fire Marshal, I was on my second day in the chief's office, sitting in the chief's chair, still figuring out how to make it go up and down and learning my passwords and stuff like that, and the phone rings, and it's the Fire Marshal, and I'm like, man, this shit's getting real. I'm like, the Marshal's to you. I'm like, great. So I talked to the Marshal, and he couldn't have been kinder. You offered words of support. You gave me some information that I needed, and we exchanged contact information. Since that day, I've had the occasion to call the Marshal twice, and on both occasions, he's answered his own phone, and that's pretty impressive. An important guy like the Marshal of the State Fire Marshal of Massachusetts answering his own phone. So thank you, Marshal. Thanks for your accessibility and for being here today and serving the community. Thank you. My fellow chiefs, the mayor touched on this. We couldn't do this without you. Everybody that's helping us with coverage, I appreciate it, so we could all be here today. It's nice to have the brothers and the sisters from my entire department attend, and I couldn't do it without you all. We have a great collaborative effort here on the region. Essex County, we do mutual aid for all our major incidents and whatever we need. If you need to borrow a truck or anything like that, we're there for each other, and I'm proud of that, and I'm honored to be part of that entire group so that we serve each other at any time of need. Thanks, Chiefs. My fellow department heads, I see you all somewhere out there. Thank you all for coming. These are the people that I have the privilege of serving in the trenches with day in and day out. We spend countless hours in meetings, and we keep our departments in the city running. Thanks for all your guidance and your patience while I transitioned into my new role as chief. I look forward to serving with all of you for years to come. In particular, as the mayor mentioned, I'm going to do it again. I want to mention Ellen Telkowski. She's hiding in the back up there. And she's definitely the one who set all this up today. Ellen is the person, if you've ever gone to the fireworks in Salem or a parade or anything resembling an activity that's special, Ellen's the one that puts it together. And couldn't write her job description, but I know she does a lot. So thanks, Ellen. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize and thank former Chief Jerry Junta. Chief, could you raise your hand? I just want to say hello. Thank you. I have to say, when word came down that I'd be stepping into the role as interim chief, I probably overstayed my welcome. I think I was in Jerry's office more than he was, and he gave me more attention than I deserved, and he showed me so much, and I can't thank you enough, Jerry. The way you left the department to me, it just made for a great, smooth transition. Other than the passwords, I got it. Geez, you need to know a lot of passwords to run this department, so I've got that figured out now. So thanks, Jerry. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Police Chief Miller's here. Chief, raise your hand. For those who don't know, welcome. Welcome to Salem. Chief Miller comes to us from New York City, and despite that, he's been a pleasure to work with. No, all kidding aside, Luke and I came on board roughly around the same time, and we've been learning the ropes together. Our ideals are similar, and our beliefs are in good community service. And I know that some of the projects we're already working on, some of our blue or red initiatives, working in conjunction, police and fire, will only make Salem a better community and help our departments continue to serve in an efficient manner. Chief Miller, I know it's not an easy time to be a police officer. In your words, police officers have never faced greater scrutiny, sharper criticism, or less benefit of the doubt, and I agree. I understand that your job is hard, but more importantly, we all understand, how important it is to have good policing in our city. Again, in your words, Chief Miller, who will watch over the city of Salem? You will. You and your officers. On behalf of the entire Salem Fire Department, I want to assure you and all your police officers, we wholeheartedly support the Salem Police Department in all your endeavors. Now, finally, and most importantly, my fellow firefighters and retirees. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here today. Words cannot express my appreciation and gratitude for all the support you have shown me and for all that you do. A wonderful part of the fire service is we do not forget our retirees who have served before us. We honor those who have passed annually on Firefighter Memorial Sunday, which is a very important day in the fire service. These retirees I speak of, these are the guys that were the Salem Fire Department when I joined. To me, they were bigger than life. They ran things, they did it well, they became our role models. I came onto the department as part of a brazen group of 12 new recruits. Back then we were called Boots. When we first came in, the old timers must have been shaking their heads. Because let me tell you, we were quite the cast of characters, and still are today. We were the smartest, bravest, toughest, most talented recruits you'd ever met. All you had to do was ask us. Fittingly, I lost my spot. Okay. Fittingly, they came to call the 12 of us who came on together the Dirty Dozen. Looking back, I'm not sure that was a good thing, but we wore that badge with honor. Not all of us, but most of us were young, stupid, and didn't know any better. Although the department welcomed us with open arms very soon after our arrival, these same guys quickly brought us down to earth. They showed us support, but with lots of love, and it was tough love. They taught us what it meant to be a firefighter, how to be quiet, how to earn your place, how to do our time, how to act, how to behave at work, and especially how to behave in public while off duty. Because you are always a firefighter no matter where you are. They used to say, "Don't screw up, kid, you'll make us all look bad." Basically, they helped most of us grow up, me included. Eventually, time went by, as it always does, and now most of the guys that I looked up to as a recruit have since deservedly retired. I see many of them in the back. Thank you. Some of these guys have even passed away, and I miss them, and I know we all miss them. These guys definitely left their mark on me and this department. They created a better, stronger department than they were given. They strengthened the firefighters union and made it work for all of us. And they taught us how to be leaders. Leaders this department now relies on. Today, not all, but many of the Dirty Dozen are still with the Salem Fire Department. It's been 28 years, can you believe it, since we all joined. All of us are proud members and serve the department honorably without exception. Most are officers, 2 are deputy chiefs, and believe it or not, 1 actually made it to chief. God help us, the Dirty Dozen's at the helm. To all the retirees, I say thank you for your years of service, and thank you for all you've done for me, and most importantly, for our department. I will do everything I can to honor your legacy as chief and to make you proud. To all the firefighters I now serve with, I thank you and your families for coming today, and thank you for helping to showcase our department. You saw our department outside, and we're all here today. I'm very, very proud. This day is not just about me. It's about the entire Salem Fire Department. I am just one small part of something amazing, something that involves each and every one of you. You are the Salem Fire Department. You are the ones who come to work day in and day out, ready to serve your community. You are the ones who are willing to risk it all and make the sacrifices necessary to be a firefighter. This job is definitely not always easy. The long hours in the stations can be tough. The work, the medicals, they can be challenging and very tough. The time away from your family, missing out on holidays, special events. It's all tough. But in a simple word, firefighting can be tough. John F. Kennedy said, "We do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard." I dare say we're not firefighters because it's easy. We are firefighters because we are up for the challenges that are hard. Having said that, being a firefighter comes with privileges. It affords us a living with many life opportunities. It allows us to be part of something special. We work with amazing people, and we form lifelong bonds with our brother and sister firefighters and their families. We get to help others. It can be a fun job if we let it. We get to ride the big trucks, do cool stuff, and look cool doing it. Let's face it, kids love us. Without a doubt, being a Salem firefighter is the coolest job in the city. My apologies to Chief Miller and my fellow public safety. We got you beat. Being a Salem firefighter is definitely a privilege, and with privilege comes responsibility. As Salem's present-day firefighters, it is all our responsibility to continue to raise the bar higher for our department. We need to embrace change and not fear it. We need to leave our department better than the retirees left it for us. This is a profession we need to preserve. To do this takes hard work, it takes dedication, and it takes commitment. I'm asking all of you again to continue to make that commitment. Moving forward from today, I want you all to help choose the direction of a department. I want you all to help set our goals. I want you all to help me raise the bar higher. In return, as your chief, I will do my very best to advocate for and facilitate our department needs to help us reach the goals that you have set. Each and every one of you brings something to this department. Do not miss your opportunity to contribute to something great. I promise to treat all of you as the professionals you are, with empathy, dignity, and much deserved respect. As one, we will fail, but with all of us working together, contributing and doing our part, I see continued great success of the Salem Fire Department. My fellow firefighters, invited guests, family and friends, thank you again for coming today. Thank you for your support and your continued support of the Salem Fire Department. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Chief Dion, for your remarks, for your willingness to step up and play a role in leading this department, and for all the work that you're going to do on behalf of our community. Your success is our success, and our community will be better for it. At the conclusion of the ceremony, which is ending shortly, I'd ask that folks know there are refreshments in the rear, so please stay if you're able to. We are going to exit as organized as we can, so we'd ask that you wait to exit until all firefighters have left this room as well. And with that, I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you on behalf of the Salem Fire Department, on behalf of the city, for welcoming Chief Dion into this leadership role. And God bless in your new role, Chief Dion. And thank you all for being with us this morning. And that concludes our ceremony. If I could ask that we retire the colors at this time.